Hi, my name is Patricia Rawson, and I'm the Executive Director at Bridges for Women's Society. My pronouns are she, her. I would like to begin today by acknowledging that Bridges is located on the lands of the Algonquin-speaking peoples, including the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. So the news has been reporting, especially since the pandemic and during the pandemic, about increased cases of violence against women. Pre-pandemic, we had 1 out of 6 women in Canada were murdered in intimate partner violence every day. The prevalence of violence against women is what propelled the 5 founding mothers of Bridges for Women's Society to start the organization. They were noticing 2 things. Number 1 was that women were staying in relationships that were unhealthy because they were financially dependent on others. As well, the impacts of trauma had such impacts that they were unable to really hold down jobs or get jobs, or they were in entry-level positions. During the 6 months of the Bridges Employment Program, women get to really look at the effects of trauma on their lives in the multitude of ways. And as well, they get to really explore, sometimes for the first time, what kind of career would be a good fit for them. And parallel to doing the program, they also receive one-to-one counseling supports. The combination of group and one-to-one supports has really makes changes in women's lives. The Bridges Employment Program was really the first in Canada to recognize the effects of trauma on employability. So today, Bridges serves 600 to 700 women per year, as well as over 2,000 counseling sessions. We have 2 offices on South Vancouver Island, as well as a contract to deliver services in North Vancouver Island as well. I'm here today to talk about Sarah. Prior to coming to Bridges for Women's Society, she had an unstable family life, addiction, and lived on the street and had a near-death experience before going into recovery program. Though she worked really hard during her recovery, she also was experiencing suffocating fear and debilitating anxiety. When Sarah began the group at Bridges, she was finding that she was having a hard time staying in the room. She was feeling lots of activation, and she would often have to just leave the room to settle herself. At the beginning of the program, all the women were learning about how to do self-care, and so she was practicing some of these techniques in order to settle down. And she was finding that over time, we were finding that she was really able to stay in the room longer and longer. As we were nearing the employment section, then she started experiencing anxiety again. When we were talking about resumes, she just really found that it was really hard to settle. When the facilitator chatted with her, she said that she had wasted her whole life, that she had nothing to put on a resume at all. The facilitator encouraged Sarah to really look at how the skills that she developed from being in an abusive relationship, and then also the skills that she developed to leaving in the relationship. That allowed her to go back in the room, and they did an exercise together with the rest of the class to really look at the strengths that you could really put on a resume, the transferable strengths. Though Sarah really said several times during the program that she was going to quit, she actually finished the program. She graduated, and what an exciting day it was. She stood up in front of 50 people to talk about her journey and what she came to really appreciate about herself. She was excited about her future and what she was going to do in terms of education. One of my favorite times with Sarah was at the graduation and seeing how she stood up in front of all of those people and how she really faced her fear. And then I realized that she actually faced her fear every day that she was in that relationship, and every day when she was on the street, and then every day when she came to class. And that is kind of a real marker of how wonderful and transformative the experience really was for her. Sarah is one of the many women who go through the Bridges program with a profound belief that their experience does not have to be what defines them. What we see every day is their compassion, their wisdom, their strengths, and how many talents they have to offer the world. This is one example of the support that Bridges receives from the United Way program. So what we know at Bridges is that in order for women to heal from violence and abuse, it takes a community. We are very grateful for the United Way and all the people who support the United Way to help women really change their lives and get in the driver's seat.